All right, so let's see what kind of question we have here. What problem does the writer highlight in the paragraph? And I want to know about the problem here. So there's a particular way with which we can answer this question. If you don't want to learn the method of answering this question and just want to know the answer, which answer option is correct, then please skip right ahead towards the end of this video. There you will find the answer right away. Now, coming back to the question. Like I said, there is a specific way of answering this question, and that includes us, first of all, understanding what kind of question is this. Instead of problem, if they had mentioned any other word here, literally any other word, it doesn't matter. If they're asking you what dash does the writer highlight in the paragraph? So they're essentially saying that, listen, the writer is doing something in the paragraph, and I want you to figure out what that thing is, correct? Not in the entire paragraph, but specifically something. It could be what issue, it could be a problem, it could be a solution, it could be an advantage, a benefit, anything. When you deal with the detailed question, it's important to understand that in order to answer this detailed question, the reading technique relies heavily on finding specific information. Finding specific information. If I don't find this specific information and I keep on reading the entire paragraph just for the gist of it, just for an overall understanding, I might waste my time a little bit. It is also possible that in this question, if you're trying to find specific information, what ends up happening is you have a paragraph, but in that paragraph, there's only a small section of the paragraph which actually talks about your question, and that little detail is going to answer. Now, in a detailed question, to expect this kind of scenario is perfectly all right. And this is what we want to happen as well. But there can be other scenarios as well. In a detailed question, it is also possible that half of this area is also discussing your detailed question's answer. What's also possible is that the entire paragraph actually is giving us more details about that particular detail that you have already gotten here, but you keep on reading the entire paragraph just to figure out if there's anything else as well. So remember, any of these, finding that in your paragraph is absolutely normal. What you do need to remember is that when you're looking for a specific information, you need to figure out what kind of information you're looking for. For example, in this scenario, we're looking for a problem, right? So if you're looking for a problem, I want you to focus on this thing, problem. Notice how something is problematic. I don't need to know exactly what vocabulary they are using. Any words, if they use the word issue, if they see the word not good, if they use the word concern, basically, if they are using any word which actually means something negative, then they are answering my question of what is the problem actually. So when I go to that paragraph to find specific information, I am scanning for negative things. What things could be problematic? It could be the cause of something. It could be something that is happening right now. It could also be something, a result of something. It doesn't matter to me as long as it is something negative. And when you answer a detailed question, what problem does the writer highlight or the writer highlight? Doesn't matter. It could be one problem. It could be two problems. It could be three problems. Even if it is multiple problems there, or even if it is a singular problem, you need to make sure that within that paragraph, you're highlighting that this is problem number one, this is problem number two based on the language, and this is problem number three. Once you have highlighted that, what will happen? You will come back to the paragraph and you will be able to check that according to my answer options, which problem have they mentioned in the answer options? Because they cannot mention all three problems, so they must have mentioned one or maybe two combination of two. What's also important? Okay, I'm trying to find specific information and I'm trying to look for something negative of a word. Remember, just because I have said something negative, it doesn't mean that they will necessarily use a negative word only. There are ways to actually show me that something is a problem by using a particular vocabulary. We have already discussed that here, but it is also possible for them to use the definition of something. See, if I'm calling somebody capable, let me just give you an example. If I'm calling somebody capable, I'm using the adjective, I'm using the quality, the word capable to define that, yes, this person has the abilities. But on the other hand, I could also use the definition of capable. I could say that this person has the capability, has this power to do these things. So that means I've not used a word, but I have meant the same thing. This is why when you are seeing that definition in a sentence, it kind of takes you by surprise. You did not expect that I will not get a word, but rather I will get a sentence that is telling me it's problematic. That's new, but that's also possible. Sometimes they use both A and I would say both one and two. Basically, they use both the word and the definition to help you identify that this is a problem. Okay. And they can also use any kind of other tools like the linkers, right? If a sentence automatically starts with unfortunately, right? What would happen? You would think, okay, a reader or writer is not happy about this. So any combination of these tools would help you identify something that is negative. Now, that's all for the theory. Let's try and apply it to the question here. Let's see. Remember, once again, we are looking for specific information. That specific information is a problem that we are looking for. The word problem tells me I'm looking for something negative. It could be very negative. It could be less negative. It could be multiple negative things. All I have to do is in this paragraph, I have to figure out where they're talking about something negative. I should not be surprised if only one section discusses it, if bigger section discusses it, if the entire paragraph discusses it, because the entire paragraph could be about problems also. So I'll just keep numbering problem number 1, problem number 2, problem number 3. Let's go. Right, let's see what problem we have here. Common symptoms. I automatically know that symptoms are problematic. So let me see. Well, they haven't called it a negative thing, but I know that symptoms are negative. Common symptoms of long COVID include fatigue, brain fog, and post-external malaise. Okay, these are symptoms. We have already highlighted that. Long COVID is also, so that means they are again going to tell me about symptoms associated with, once again, they are telling me cardiovascular and autonomic dysfunction. So not just symptoms, actually they are talking about diseases as well, right? So disease and symptoms, they're telling me particularly this, and a vast range. Look at this word, a vast range. A vast range is telling me that, listen, it's quite a lot. They are trying to bring my attention here of fluctuating, going back and forth, those kinds of symptoms, and share overlapping symptomatology with XYZ other things. Doesn't matter these details. I know symptoms and disease is the main thing. That's a problematic. Then I see these symptoms can make, what happens because of one? Well, because of one can make undertaking typical activities extremely difficult. So what typical activities are they talking about? Everyday activities like workforce access, productivity, and school participation. So this basically talks about the impact on life. So impact on life is also not good. That's also bad. So this is the second thing they have talked about. First, they talked about the disease conditions. That's problematic, not because they've used a language, but because I automatically know disease and symptoms are not a good thing. Then comes the impact on life, right? Difficult with implications for these things. Not good again. If it is not good, then this is the problem we have. There are several definitions of long COVID. Doesn't mean that it's bad. And this creates a barrier. Aha, it creates a barrier. Listen, when you use the word symptoms, obviously, if you have a symptom, you will call it a symptom. When you have a disease condition, I've called it a disease condition. I had no choice but to use the word symptoms and disease here. But here they had a choice to use the word barrier. They could have used another word, but they have used barrier because they want to highlight that, listen, this is a problem. So this is the third thing. What creates a barrier? You could also get this question in your exam. What is this referring to? So this is referring to several definitions of long COVID. Several definitions of long COVID is actually creating a problem. So several definitions of long COVID is the third thing which is problematic. Now it is creating a barrier to what? Timely diagnosis, access to care, in addition to the research. So basically in the healthcare industry, what happens? This is the problem number 3. Clearer terminology for the distinction between increased risk of specific this and this is also important. They're telling me what is important. I don't care what is important. I care about what is an issue. And I have found 3 issues here. Number 1, symptoms and diseases. This area talked about it. Doesn't matter how much one problem is being discussed. It doesn't automatically makes it the right answer. Any of these three things could be in my answer choices, and that could be the right answer. Remember that. So once again, what are our problems? Symptoms and diseases which are associated with long COVID. Then second, the impact that long COVID symptoms and diseases have on the person's life. Then the third thing is the several definitions of COVID. That's problematic because it creates a problem for the healthcare industry. By that, I mean anything regarding diagnosis, treatment, research, all of those things. See, easy peasy. Now let's see how easy our answer options are. Remember, just because you have read the paragraph does not mean you automatically find the right answer. No, you find out what is wrong with each answer option. You are eliminating. If you go with elimination, you will definitely be able to get to the right answer. So never select an answer before you have eliminated all answer choices. So what problem does the writer highlight in the paragraph? Symptoms are too severe to impact daily life. First of all, I know that they have talked about symptoms. So some students would think symptoms. Almost half of the paragraph talked about symptoms. Let's and the symptoms were very, very severe also. Symptoms are too severe. So let's make it to be the right answer. But no, go with the entire meaning. What do I know from the meaning? I know from the meaning that this part about they are too severe to impact daily life, it means that they're so severe that they do not impact daily life, which doesn't make sense because severe symptoms are clearly impacting daily life. So that little thing is wrong. Eliminate. Don't look at what is right, look at what could be wrong. Then unclear terms. I know what are unclear terms. Unclear terminology, because we need clearer terminology. That means we don't have clear terminology right now because we have several definitions of COVID. Make it harder to provide help. Help. That's a very, very general term. What kind of help? Let's confirm. This creates a barriers to timely diagnosis. Could it be considered help? Yes, you're providing a diagnosis. Access to care, help. Yes, in addition to research. Okay, I could believe this to be the right answer if I don't find something which is better than B answer option, which is saying something more definite than provide help. Let's consider. Every system in the body is affected. Every system in the body, basically every function in your body, every organ in your body is affected. That's a problem. I saw symptoms and diseases were a problem, but I didn't see anything about how if it affects my heart, now that's a problem. But I did say something about vast range. Remember, if it's a detail, I can always go and confirm. Range of fluctuating symptoms, share of, but I don't see anything like them emphasizing that it is actually creating a problem for every system in the body. I saw a lot of symptoms and diseases, but I saw cardiovascular as well. So somebody is probably going to think that they have heart disease or something, but no, this is too vague for me to actually consider this. If I had to choose between B and C, B that I'm right now confused about, I would still consider B because that's still much better. So no, this is too vague. So this is incorrect according to me. Then I have diagnosing it accurately can be challenging. I know they have talked about diagnosis. Yes, diagnosing it accurately. That means diagnosing, maybe I'm misdiagnosing it to be something else. So there are some disease conditions which have symptoms similar to other disease conditions, and I did see something about overlapping symptomatology, something like that, right? So I think they're trying to confuse me here, or maybe give me a hint. Accurately means that I'm diagnosing it right the first time when I'm diagnosing it. I'm not having any issues with it. So that can be challenging. Let me see where I found diagnosing and where they are saying this meaning. Well, here they said timely diagnosis. They've used the word timely diagnosis. One second. Timely diagnosis means like diagnosing it as soon as possible or when it is required, but it doesn't talk about, they talk about clear terminology, distinction between increased risk of specific health conditions and the syndrome of this is important. But they're not saying diagnosing it accurately is a problem. They talked about vast ranging, they talked about overlapping symptomatology with a particular disease condition, but they haven't said still like diagnosing it as a problem. If I had to choose answer option D, I think I would choose it if I didn't already have an answer option within the paragraph, which makes me think that, I don't have any other answer choice. I would overthink myself, and then I would reach to this conclusion of D answer option. Well, I don't have any other answer choice, then let me choose D. It doesn't make sense because I already have answer option B. So no, accurately is not something of a problem here. Unclear terms make it harder to provide help. What kind of help? Access to healthcare, timely diagnosis. So if you're diagnosing a problem, that I would also consider here, timely diagnosis as well. So in this case, our answer option that is correct is answer option B. And if you like the video so far and you would like to see any more such videos like this, then don't forget to hit like and subscribe to this channel and share it with your friends. And remember, when you're preparing for OET, 3 things matter. Number 1, what kind of question you have, which decides. Number 2, your reading technique. And after your reading technique, what matters? Your elimination, the third thing when you come to the answer choices. So make sure that you're using all 3 correctly and there is no problem at any step. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.